Well, here in Canada, the country whose national anthem even refers to itself as being the true North Strong and Free, it turns out that we no longer rank as one of the top freest countries in the world. Tamara Ugolini here with Rebel News, bringing you a recent report put out by the Fraser Institute gauging the Human Freedom Index for 2022. It found that Canada now ranks number 13 on the Human Freedom Scale. The press release from January 26 reads, "For the first time since 2012, Canada does not rank among the top freest countries worldwide. During the pandemic, like other governments worldwide, governments in Canada restricted freedom of movement, expression, assembly, and other freedoms even more than they had in previous years," said Fred McMahon, resident fellow at the Fraser Institute and co-author of this year's Human Freedom Index. The index measures personal freedom, the rule of law, safety and security, identity and relationships, i.e. the freedom to choose your relationship partner, freedom of movement, speech, assembly, and religion, alongside economic freedom, the ability of individuals to make their own economic decisions. This year, Canada ranks as the 13th freest country in the world, based on 2020 data, the earliest available, compared to 6th in last year's ranking, based on 2019 data. While we take no position on the necessity of COVID policies, they unquestionably limited freedom worldwide. From 2019 to 2020, 94.3% of the world's population experienced a decline in freedom. Crucially, people in freer countries are more prosperous than those in less free countries. And isn't it interesting that our prosperity as a nation has been on the steady decline as our constitutional rights and freedoms were trampled on by all levels of government throughout the state-sanctioned compliance propaganda and fear narrative pushed incessantly on Canadians throughout the COVID pandemonium? 1 year ago, more than half of Canadians were unable to keep up with the cost of living as inflation soars and has driven up the price of literally everything. And yet, the Bank of Canada has continued to hike interest rates, a totaling of 4.25% since that time. Canadians are feeling it. 22% are completely out of money, while 52% are concerned that they might not have enough money to feed their family, 64% of whom are parents with young children at home to feed. All of this comes as taxpayer-funded behavioral science teams find that the majority of Canadians have lost trust in institutions and government. I wonder why. And as determined by Reporters Without Borders, Canada ranks as 19th out of 180 countries on their Press Freedom Index for 2022, which is down from number 14 in 2021. Oddly, press freedom has been on the steady decline since 2015 when the Justin Trudeau Liberals were elected into federal office, a time when back then Canada was ranked within the top 10 at number 8 on the index. And so as it goes, as the Liberals move to regulate internet content with sweeping censorship bills like Bill C-11 and contribute to inflation with radical green energy initiatives, do you think that Canadians will continue on this trend of being less free and more financially enslaved in 2023 under these progressive policies run by out-of-touch Liberals? For Rebel News, I'm Tamara Ugolini. Trudeau's censorship law will silence everyday Canadians on social media platforms. Before it's approved by Senate, you can head over to our website at stopthecensorship.com, and there you can sign our petition and email the Senate directly to express your disagreement with this heavy-handed legislation. Stay up to date and take action at stopthecensorship.com.